I'm giving you permission to have a life. Okay. Today, we're going to be talking about 7 inspiring tips for career longevity in teaching. Trust me, you'll want to grab a notebook or at least a cup of coffee. Welcome to the Teacher RockStar podcast, the podcast that's dedicated to providing valuable insights, practical tips, and proven strategies to equip new teachers for success. I'm your host, Steve Hiles, retired educator, published author, and instructional coach. Join me in each episode as we offer a supportive platform for navigating the challenges of the teaching profession. First of all, let's address the elephant in the room. Okay, we know teaching is hard work, but it's rewarding, and it's also exhausting, frustrating, and sometimes downright bananas. But here's the good news. You can have a long, fulfilling career without burning out or running away to join the circus. You've heard me say before that teaching is the only profession that I can think of that expects a teacher on day one to perform like a veteran teacher of 20 years or more, which is simply not the case. Let's go ahead and dive in. Tip number 1, set boundaries like your life depends on it, because it does. Stop grading papers during your lunch hour, or I should say lunch break. And for the love of laminated posters, don't check your emails at 10 o'clock at night. Your mental health is not a renewable resource. Number 2 I want to talk about is find your tribe. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, teaching, like I said, it can be very isolating, to say the least, especially when you're drowning in paperwork, trying to grade papers and plan lessons and all that other good stuff. Find the people, the coworkers that make you laugh, the mentors who inspire you, and even an online community that gets you going through. Okay. Teaching is way more fun, my friend, than having to do this all by yourself. Okay. So that's a very important tip there. Moving on to tip number 3. Now, it's going to sound a little obvious, but this one is extremely important. Are you a teacher who finds yourself drowning in the challenges of classroom management? Do student behaviors leave you feeling overwhelmed and drained at the end of each day? Picture this: a classroom where your students are not just present, but fully engaged, focused, and eager to learn. Say goodbye to classroom management stress and hello to success. The Teacher RockStar Academy course is meticulously designed to equip you with the tools and strategies needed to skyrocket your effectiveness as a teacher. Curious to know if the Teacher RockStar Academy course is the missing piece in your teaching journey? If you're ready to reclaim control of your classroom and witness the incredible impact on your students, then use the link in the podcast description to learn more about this program. Tip number 3, and that's taking care of yourself. All right. You can't pour from an empty cup. Okay. Let's be clear about that. And you definitely can't teach fractions on 4 hours or less of sleep a night. So get some sleep, stay hydrated, drink plenty of water, and move your body. Get the appropriate amount of exercise. Even if it's just pacing your classroom like a caffeinated penguin, it all counts. Okay, moving on to tip number 4. This is where the magic happens. Okay, never stop learning. Keep that professional curiosity alive. It'll pay off in big dividends. I promise you that. Whether it's by attending workshops, reading books, doing research, experimenting with new teaching methods. Bonus points if you can use your students as guinea pigs for your brilliant new ideas. After all, who better to test out that dramatic reading of Romeo and Juliet? Now, speaking of fun, tip number 5 is this: celebrate the small wins. Did your student finally understand the difference between the 3 types of there? There are, and over there. Okay. Throw in a mini party in your head. Did you make it through a lesson without the projector breaking down on you? That's worth a fist bump, to tell you the truth. Teaching is a marathon, not a sprint, and those little victories will keep you going for a long time. Now, moving on to tip number 6, cultivate hobbies outside of teaching, my friend. Meaning, I'm giving you permission to have a life. Okay. Whether it's, building model rockets, painting, kickboxing, and watching documentaries about others, find something that brings you joy and has absolutely nothing with grading papers or planning lessons. Trust me, it's going to make you a better teacher. And finally, tip number 7 is remember your why. Why did you get into teaching in the first place? What was your rationale on those tough days? And there's going to be tough days, I assure you that. Reconnect with the reason why you became a teacher in the first place. Maybe it's the light bulb moments when your students finally have that moment. Maybe it's the relationships or the hope that you're shaping a better future. Whatever it is, hold on to it, okay? Like a lifeboat in a storm. So there you have it, my friend. You have 7 tips to keep you energized, inspired, and in this game for the long haul. Teaching isn't just a job, it is a calling. And with these strategies, you could answer that call without losing your voice or your sanity. Well, my friend, we have come to the end of this episode, and I want to thank you so much for listening to the Teacher RockStar podcast. I'm your host, Steve Hiles. Now, if you have an idea for a topic that you would like me to address on the show, please send me an email or drop your ideas in the comments below. That would be greatly appreciated. I'd love to hear from you. And we will see you same time, same place next week. And remember, my friend, you got this.
You've been listening to the Teacher RockStar podcast with your host, Steve Hiles. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast as much as we have. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our ever-growing community of Teacher RockStars. Until then, thanks for listening.